as South Africans and the business community reels from the effects of the rolling Eskom blackouts, Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan has assured citizens that load shedding will be averted. Big business, they've lashed out at the power utility for plunging the country into prolonged load shedding. Now, yesterday, the power utility imposed level 4 restrictions. Now, let's get some reaction from the Black Business Council. Kganki Matabane is the CEO of the organization. Mr. Matabane, thank you very much for your time. Your reaction on, let's take it back to the restrictions that came with COVID and how business suffered at that time, probably still reeling because of that, and now you're having to contend with load shedding. Do you take the apology of Eskom and the Public Enterprises Minister to heart?
Monitory and the viewers, we've had so many apologies since load shedding started. Almost, I think, more than 10 years ago. So I'm not sure if any apology will assist, because what people need, they don't need apologies. People need energy security. That's what people need.
So you reject the apology?
Yeah. It's not about rejecting or accepting it, but I don't think the apology is any relevant. It's got any relevance now.
Yeah.
What is relevant and what is needed by the country is for the country to be able to plan.
Yeah.
Because at the moment when you are running a business, you can't plan. You wake up, we're supposed to be on level 2, and by the time you get to 12 o'clock is level 4. So the issue for us, because we know we're going to live with the load shedding for some time, is the unpredictability of it.
Yeah.
Because if you're running a business, you have to plan. If you are a small business, you have to plan and say, at least if I'm going to lose 2 hours because of blackouts, I need to plan proper and plan my staff and my employees to maybe give them lunch during that time. But if you don't know, like you wake up and then things change, it becomes very, very difficult. And I think what we need is a plan that should be shared with the whole country to say, this load shedding, for example, is going to take 5 years. But we know year 1 will have resolved 20% of the challenges. Year 5 will have resolved 100% of the challenges. And after year 5, we know there's not going to be any blackout.
Yeah.
But at the moment, that certainty is not there. And that introduces what we call policy uncertainty, because if you want to invest in South Africa, you need to know whether you're going to have electricity or not.
Mr. Matabane, let me ask you this question. You probably would have listened to the Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan. Hopefully you were not being load-shedded at the time. And he seemed to put the blame squarely on state capture. And there have been some who are saying, look, this whole issue of state capture 3 years on, we can't still be blaming that. Instead, we need to be focusing the energies on trying to find out what it is that is so wrong with Eskom after this current CEO came in with a lot of promise that we were going to see the back of load shedding. Do you accept that state capture primarily is as a result of why we are where we are?
I think South Africa, we've got what we'll call it, a tendency of not taking responsibility, but of wanting to blame other factors. And I think that is not taking us anywhere. Whether it is the load shedding that we have is because of state capture or not, I don't think it's neither here nor there. What we need is a solution. We've been diagnosing the problem for a long time. but we don't seem to be coming with a solution, with a sustainable solution that will take us from where we are and put us where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be focusing on economic recovery, and then at this rate of this type of load shedding, and maybe we must call it blackouts because it's blackouts. At this rate of blackouts, the economic recovery will become a dream because energy security is very important. All the sectors of the economy need electricity to recover. Mining, you can mention the mining. If you are running small businesses, you need to have the security that you're going to have electricity so that you can operate properly. And small businesses are affected even more because they cannot afford to buy generators and all those type of things.
Yeah.
So for us, I think that the focus should not be whether this is caused by state capture or not state capture, but the focus should be let's resolve the problem. We've been with load shedding for quite too long, and we don't see any light at the end of the tunnel.
Is it time to talk about Andre de Ruyter's capabilities in turning things around at Eskom?
Yeah, I think we should have an engagement and see is 3 years enough or is 3 years not enough. And again, in the absence of a well-known and well-published plan, we will never know. Maybe the plan is there, maybe it's not there. And what we do as BBC, we have regular engagements with the Eskom, so the next engagement will ask them to provide us with a plan.
Yeah.
So that we know this is a plan, and then we can judge them based on the plan. Because at the moment, there's nothing. And when we judge them based on whether electricity is there or not. But maybe there's a plan that says in 2025 the blackout won't be there anymore. But that's what we want to see.
So what you are saying, without saying it, is that the fact that Eskom has not presented a turnaround plan speaks volumes. So I'm going to pick up on that point when we return. We are in conversation with the Black Business Council. They're reacting to the current bout of rolling blackouts that we are experiencing again. And we also are going to touch on the issue of Sipho Pijana. I'll remind you what it's about in a moment. This is Newsfeed AM. We're talking to the Black Business Council CEO, Kganki Matabane. He's reacting on the latest round of load shedding. Mr. Matabane, you are saying that Eskom does not have or has not presented a plan as to where is this organization going. I put it to you that you are questioning the capabilities of that CEO who runs Eskom, Andre de Ruyter. Are you, in a way, voicing some kind of vote of no confidence in him?
Not necessarily. The issue that I'm raising is that we need to have a solution for the blackouts that we've been having for a long time. Because if you want to recover the economy and compete with the first world countries, energy security is very, very important. We cannot, at this rate, we cannot recover the economy if we have got this unpredictability.
I'll tell you why I'm focusing the attention. I'm sorry to cut in, sir. I'll tell you why I'm focusing the attention on Andre de Ruyter. You have a very annoyed governing ANC accusing Eskom, or at least suggesting that there is some kind of quote-unquote sabotage going on at Eskom. And I listened to the acting Secretary General of that party speaking to this station last night, and she was very unsatisfied with the response from Andre de Ruyter, who was speaking alongside the Minister of Public Enterprises, and she used the words, he is vague when it comes to these issues. So I'm placing him in the spotlight primarily because I think it's now, 3 years that he's been at the helm of Eskom. What is he doing effectively to turn around that institution?
Yes, until we know whether there's a plan or not, it's difficult to judge him. And he was appointed by the board. We did welcome his appointment because we wanted to give him a chance to prove himself. But to be honest with you, so far he has not, as far as we are aware, has not presented a plan that will take us from where we were to where we want to be.
All right.
Where we need to have a energy security. We need to have predictability in terms of the blackout so that we can plan better. At the moment, the frustration is that we cannot plan better because we don't know whether tomorrow will be level 5 or level 1. We really don't know.
All right. Mr. Matabane, let me then bring another issue to this discussion, and that is that of Sipho Pityana, a very well-known businessman who says that he is taking the Reserve Bank to court, and this is over a decision to overlook him for the position of chairman at ABSA. Now, you have asked for an audience with the Reserve Bank. What is it that you want to discuss with them around this issue?
Yes, firstly, we would like to congratulate Lomoloko. Wherever he has been, he has been pro-transformation. He has trained a lot of black people in the financial services. So we are confident that he'll do the same at ABSA. The meeting that we've requested with the Prudential Authority is to understand what actually happened in this case. So it's not about Sipho Pityana or Selomoloko, but it's about the principles of saying we want to at all times protect the independence of the Reserve Bank. But in the allegations that Sipho made, he said that there were people, he's alleging that there are people outside the Reserve Bank who are making decisions of the Reserve Bank. So we just want to understand whether that is true or not.
All right.
Because if it's true, we'll be very, very worried that the independence of the Reserve Bank is being compromised, because the decisions of the Reserve Bank must be made by people in the Reserve Bank, not by outsiders.
All right. Kganki Matabane, thank you very much for your time and clarity around this issue of Sipho Pityana.